Okay, so today we're going to quickly go over the exit ticket for adding and subtracting like fractions. Let's go over number one. So we have common denominators, which means we can add the numerators together. 3 plus 1 over 5 equals 4 over 5. So as long as we have common denominators, we can add the numerators together, which gives us 4 over 5, and that's my answer. Number two. 2 over 7 plus 1 over 7. Well, I notice that I have common denominators, which means I can add the numerators together. 2 plus 1 over 7 equals positive 3 over 7. And that's my answer. Easy enough. Number 3. We have 3 fractions being added together, but what I noticed about all 3 fractions is that they all have common denominators. Now, according to the notes, it says to do whatever it is in parentheses first. So we're going to go ahead and add these two numerators together. 5 plus 1 gives me 6 over 8 plus 3 over 8. Well, I still have common denominators, which means I can add the numerators together. 6 plus 3 gives me 9 over 8. Or this can be written as 1 over 1 and 1/8. Why? Because 8 goes into 9 once. 8 times 1 is 8. 9 minus 8 is 1. 1 is my whole number. The remainder is my numerator. And then my denominator is 8. All right. Number 4. We have negative 4.5 minus negative 1/5. So once again, I still notice that I have common denominators. However, because I don't have addition like I have in these other problems, I need to add the opposite. In other words, I have to make this problem an addition problem, just like number 5 and just like number 6. So let's go ahead and do that first. Let's rewrite the problem. Negative 4. Actually, to make things easier, let's just do this. Let's add the opposite. Keep negative 4/5 the same, change subtraction to addition, and change negative 1/5 to positive 1/5. Add the opposite. Perfect. Negative 4 over 5. Okay? Because we have common denominators now, I can just add the numerators together. So we have, in fact, let me erase that. Let's go negative 4 plus 1 over 5. Now I wrote it over 5 because I have common denominators, and I wrote negative 4 plus positive 1 because I had already added the opposite. All right, let's use integer addition rules. Different signs, subtract. 4 minus 1 gives me 3. And since negative 4 is further away from 0 than 1, it stays negative. And I write that over 5. I saw a lot of you guys got 3/5 as your answer, but you did not include the negative sign. So make sure you include that, because negative 4 is further away from 0 than positive 1. All right, number 5. 5 over 14 minus negative 1/14. Now, once again, I notice I have subtraction, so therefore I have to add the opposite. Change this to an addition problem. Keep that the same. Add the opposite of negative is a positive. There we go. This one's easy enough. 5 plus 1, because I have common denominators, gives me 6 over 14. Now, I saw a lot of you guys did not simplify, and if you did not, you got it wrong because it asks you to write in simplest form. So, what number can go into both 6 and 14? That's simple. 2. 6 divided by 2 gives me 3. 14 divided by 2 gives me 7. 3 over 7 is my final answer. For those of you who just wrote 6 over 14, I marked it wrong because you did not simplify it all the way. And the last problem, number 6. Once again, I have common denominators, which means I can subtract the numerators. However, I have subtraction, which means I have to add the opposite. So let's keep the first fraction the same, change subtraction to addition, and positive 6 becomes negative 6. Okay, so let's rewrite this problem as 2 plus negative 6 over 7. Now I like writing my numerators on top over one common denominators because it just looks easier to read. All right, since I have addition, I can use integer addition rules. Different signs, subtract. 6 minus 2 gives me 4. Now, since negative 6 is further away from 0 than 2, my answer stays negative over 7. So a lot of you guys did subtract 6 minus 2 to get 4, but your answer was 4 over 7, not negative 4 over 7. That negative sign is key. So remember, whatever number is furthest away from 0, that answer should be negative, or positive, depending on how far that number is away from 0. All right, number 7. Let's look at this one. Of the 50 states in the United States, 14 have an Atlantic Ocean coastline and 5 have a Pacific Ocean coastline. What fraction of U.S. states have either an Atlantic Ocean or Pacific Ocean coastline? So let's go ahead and highlight what it's asking us to do. What fraction of the U.S. states have either an Atlantic Ocean or Pacific Ocean coastline? So when it's saying to find either or, it's really asking us to add. So we have, out of 50 states, 14 have an Atlantic Ocean coastline. So I'm actually going to write down here, I'm going to show my work right here. So I'm going to put AO, which is my abbreviation for Atlantic Ocean. 14 out of 50 states are along the Atlantic Ocean. As far as the Pacific Ocean, we'll label that as PO. You zoom out a little bit. Okay. 5 out of 50 states. 5 out of 50 states have or along the Pacific Ocean. So we're going to go ahead and add these two numerators together. I have common denominators, which means if I add 14 and 5, I get 19 over 50. But that's not my final answer. I could have said 19 out of 50 of the U.S. states have either an Atlantic Ocean or Pacific Ocean coastline. You could have written it in a full sentence like that. However, I was a little lenient this time. If you just put 19 over 50, as long as you showed the work, I gave you the points. So that's why. And lastly, number 8. It says, what is a simple rule for adding and subtracting like fractions? The correct answer should have been add or subtract the numerators. Write the results on a common denominator and then simplify. Now for this problem, a lot of you guys just put same sign add and keep or different sign subtract. Now those are integer addition rules. It's part of subtracting and adding like fractions, but it's not the main thing. And now if you guys just put add or subtract the numerators, I gave it to you. That's what the problem is asking us to do. We're always adding and subtracting to the numerators. However, if you expanded upon that and you said that you want to write it over a common denominator or you have to simplify, then even better. All right, hopefully this makes more sense. Make sure you filled out your test corrections form and staple it to your exit slip and turn it in to me. All right, see you back later.